Welcome to the UAB Solar House and Sustainable Community virtual tour. In 2017, UAB sent a team of students to Denver, Colorado to compete in the Solar Decathlon Build Challenge held by the U.S. Department of Energy. The UAB teams, named Survive AL, presented the house and placed 5th out of 11 teams. The house was brought back to Birmingham after the competition to become a part of the campus and a cornerstone of our new UAB Sustainable Neighborhood. Because the house was damaged traveling to and from the competition in Denver, it had to have several repairs. Luckily, the house has been restored and had quite a few upgrades since 2017. The main goal of this house and the community in general is to showcase how easy it can be to integrate sustainability into our daily life. We hope to spread awareness about renewable energy, clean gardening practices, rainwater collection, and wildlife preservation. The sustainable community is home to 3 different gardens surrounding the house, which we will see later in the tour.
Architecturally, the solar house was designed to have as much natural lighting as possible. Features such as the high ceiling windows and white walls ensure that the living room and kitchen remain brightly lit while also cooling off the house. Since the majority of the house's windows are north-facing, the sun never shines directly into the house, making it much easier to keep these rooms cool. The house was actually split into 6 parts to move to Denver and back. You may notice that there are steel rods within the roof that connect it to the base of the house. To combat the long and hot summers in Alabama, the house was built so that if the window on the east side and the window on the west side of the home are both open, a cross breeze will be generated. Since the east side of the home is shaded during most waking hours, the cool air from that side gets pushed to the warm side. This draft naturally cools the home. Additionally, 4 ductless indoor air conditioning units are used to supply air when more heating or cooling is required. Ductless air conditioning is much more efficient because it is localized and personalized for each room. Forced air units require ductwork throughout the house and can take up a lot of space. Ductwork also breaks up the insulation of the house, which makes it harder to manage temperatures.
The house has a thick, well-sealed envelope, which means not a lot of air gets in or out unless desired. While this is incredibly beneficial for heating and cooling the home, if fresh air is not introduced, the air can collect pollutants that may harm the people living in the home. One of the biggest risks to respiration is a lack of oxygen and high carbon dioxide concentrations. When CO2 levels get to an unhealthy point, an ERV component will distribute fresh air into the home, and this can also reduce the stale feeling found commonly in poorly ventilated homes. The cleaning and cooking appliances used in the house were chosen with consideration to energy efficiency. Our Bloomberg dishwasher was on the 2019 Energy Star Most Efficient list. The magnetic induction stove was chosen both for the efficiency in comparison to gas stoves and safety features. When the stove is on, you can actually place your hand on top of the stove and not burn yourself. This is because the top is magnetic, so it will only begin to generate heat when a magnetic item like a pot or a pan is touching the surface of the stove. This allows for little residual heat, which lessens our energy usage overall. A combination washer and dryer was also chosen to not only save space, but reduce energy consumption. Our toilets are EPA sponsored as a water-efficient product, and this is because it uses 20% less water than a normal toilet while flushing. Our rainwater cistern, which is located in the back of the home, collects fresh rainwater and is used for the toilets. This house contains a hybrid electric water heater. Our water heater only uses 550 watts of power to heat 50 gallons of water, which makes it 9 times more efficient than the average water heater. This reduces our overall energy use by 40% compared to using a standard water heater. Due to the many life-threatening tornadoes Alabama has experienced, the team decided that a tornado shelter was a necessity in designing this home. The interior, which was created by UAB engineering students, is made of a thermoplastic, fiberglass resin, and recycled shipping containers. This material is actually stronger than steel per unit density and can withstand around 250 mile/hour wind and debris.
The rainwater cistern is used to collect water for irrigating the lawn and filling the toilets. It has a UV light inside to kill bacteria, as well as a mesh filter to get rid of debris. It is made from galvanized metal and can hold 2,500 gallons of water. Alabama has more than 132,000 miles of streams and rivers, with more types of plants and animals living in them than any other state in the nation. However, we also have one of the highest extinction rates in North America, many of which are species that live in our rivers. Across Alabama, there are more than 117 million tons of toxic coal ash in unlined pits located next to our waterways. There is also a serious issue of raw sewage being dumped into rivers and streams in our state. This information was provided by the Alabama River Alliance, and I urge you to check their website for more information and ways to get involved with their clean water initiatives. Our co-light street lamps are an example of an upgrade the house has received since returning to campus. They are powered by both wind and solar, which charge a battery at the base of the lamp, allowing them to stay on through the night. If you look up, you can see 28 solar panels on top of the house, and 6 larger panels on top of the storage container. Our solar array produces 11.22 kilowatt hours of power. In the container, there are 4 batteries that hold 16.5 kilowatt hours each, for a total of 66 kilowatt hours. Batteries ensure that at night, the house will still have electrical power. They store power so that when the sun is gone, the house can still run smoothly. If there were no sunlight, we could run the house off of battery power for about 4 days. Next to the container is a natural gas generator. This is purely for emergency purposes. The natural gas generator will only be used if the solar panel's electrical supply is interrupted and all of the battery power is used up. Replacing fossil fuel power plants with renewable energy sources, including solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal power, would reduce a diversity of pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gases have far-ranging environmental and health effects that cause climate change by trapping heat and also contribute to respiratory disease from smog and air pollution. Extreme weather, food supply disruptions, and increased wildfires are other effects of climate change caused by greenhouse gases. At the Sustainable Community, we are trying to showcase simple ways to reduce our carbon footprint, while also preserving wildlife and practicing clean gardening.
The Blazer Kitchen Gardens, located right across the street from the solar house, provide fresh produce to the campus food pantry named Blazer Kitchen. The pantry is located 2 blocks down the street from the house and serves members of the UAB community experiencing food insecurity. Right to the left of the house across the street is our UAB Community Gardens, where staff, students, and faculty can rent a plot and grow their own produce. At UAB Sustainability, we have a garden intern that helps take care of the grounds, crops, and weed eating. We also just added honeybees from Foxhound Bee Co. and many pollinators around the sustainable neighborhood as well as throughout the entire campus. Directly behind the solar house, there's a very lush and overgrown hill that we call our meadow in the making. We are not treating with pesticide or mowing the grounds to support more vegetation and habitat for wildlife. The meadow is also known as a monarch way station. We planted milkweeds that provide nutrition and shelter for monarch butterflies that migrate through North America. They should be migrating through Alabama in late September, early October, and once the butterflies actually eat the milkweeds, they become poisonous to birds that would like to eat them.